Hello, Bison here, and today I'll be talking about the cards of the day between October the 5th to October the 9th. I am by myself today, and that is just it. So, first card of this week is Moroboshi Kyori, yellow, 3/2/95, music and happy happy trait. During your turn, if all your characters are music trait, this card gains 2k. When you play this from hand to stage, you can pay the cost, which is 2 stock. If you do, choose when your character gains the following effect. Only activates once per turn. If the damage this card deals is cancelled, you deal 1 more damage. And when you play this card from hand, if this card damage gets cancelled, you deal 1 more damage. Only activate once per turn. Best way to compare this is some people may know is Yamato Kai from Kenkoi, because it's the exact same effect, except the first one, which actually makes it maybe a bit stronger than the original Yamato Kai, because it becomes 11.5, because there is no way right now that all your characters are not going to be music trait. Neo standard at least. Of course, you can play standard. I guess Yamato would be better anyways. But anyways, this card is kind of a hit and miss because you could be paying 2 for absolutely no reason at all. And its own shot ability is like, it's kind of built in, so I'm not going to say much about that. My experience against Yamato Kai is that it's always been kind of a hit and miss card, that card. Mostly because you're going with Musashi, the standard Musashi, the one that mill shots. I'm not exactly sure how Cinderella Girls will pay for this cost. Maybe there is a stock building deck of some sort, or has some really good way of building stock in general. Overall, it's an okay card. It's definitely worth checking into, I suppose. Next card, Promotion Mode Anzu, red 105k. Music and Candy trait. When this card declares an attack with the Climax, the result of her seriousness in the Climax zone, you can pay the cost, which is 1 stock. If you do, all your other character gains the following effect to end of turn. When this card reverses opponent in battle, choose 1 character in your waiting room, return to your hand. Oh yeah, the Climax is a 2k1, 2k1. Goes to show how lazy Anzu is, so true to her character, have the other people do her work. You pay 1 for a possible +2. Even just getting 1 kill would make it a +1 for 1 cost, which what I think is actually still pretty good. So if you get 2 cards on 1 stock, that is really good. And it happens on reverse, so cards like, what's it called? Minus Soul would not affect it too much. Anti salvage that isn't Kyosuke would not be affected by this. At least on the very last one. Overall, it's a really good card, so I can see this easily as a staple. At least 1 to 3 copies, and well, actually more like 2 to 3 copies, and then like maybe 2 or 3 2k1s. I'm not sure. Depends on the build, I suppose. Next card, Hoshi's Yoko, yellow 001500, music and mushroom. For every marker underneath this card gains 2k. You can rest this card, the top card of your deck, to the bottom of this card as a marker. Pretty bad, honestly. Wind triggers will kill it. Level 0 Suicide still kills it. And you don't get to attack the turn you play if you want the marker. And every time you stack a marker, it's another card that's not being, it's another turn it's not attacking, so why? It's a pretty bad card. That's all I have to say about it. Alright, next card. Pure White Angel, Ranko. Blue 105k, music and darkness. This card changes in the climax. During the climax phase, you pay the cost, which is just set itself to a waiting room. If you do, choose a black Fallen Angel Ranko from your waiting room and play it on where this card was before. If this card was already on field when this happened, you cannot activate the effect. For obvious reason, I will go to the next card. The Black Fallen Angel Ranko, blue 104k, music and darkness phase. When this card gets played from the waiting room to stage, and you have 2 or more other music characters, this card gains 2500 to end of turn. During the start of your opponent's draw phase, you can pay the cost, which is sent itself to its waiting room. If you do, choose a Pure White Angel Ranko from your waiting room, played where this card was before, and that card gains 25 to end of turn. That was interesting. That was very interesting. So for obvious reasons, you kind of want the pure white one in your hand rather than the pure black. Although unless you're like level 1 first, now I suppose pure black might be just the black fallen. I mean, would be better. Well, not better. It would suffice. There we go. So, assuming you start with the pure white rank angel, you would technically get 6500 on attack, which is oversized considering it's a change. A change for free, so I'm not gonna consider the cost. This is interesting. So basically, you have a 65 on defense, 65 on attack, and I suppose about 75 on defense on base. But sadly, this is actually rather easy to counter because if you deck refresh midway, you can't really change into the pure white unless you're okay with just losing the card. Then by all means, go for it. It might be worth it considering what you if you know what you're fighting against. I'm not sure I'm not sure how to judge this card. I guess it's still kind of okay because well, I guess you play this in a Ranko deck, that's for sure. Cards the combo's okay-ish. I have my kind of taste with this. It was yeah. All right, next card, Shirisaka Konome. I definitely messed that up. Blue 0025, music and acute trait. You can pay 1 and rest this card to search for the same card, play any search, play on any border, shuffle your deck, and at the end of turn, send that card to the waiting room. Okay, I guess so. I mean, like, I guess you kind of mill one card. It's a +1 on attack, I suppose. Kind of. You don't really lose the card. And assuming you could, keep putting the card back into your deck, I guess it's kind of, it's essentially recyclable, but it's pretty bad. I think it's pretty bad. I think it's really bad. I mean, like, there might be some use for it still, but it's pretty bad. Because, this is still taking a card in the back row. Alright, next card. Candy Islands, Kanako, red 215k, music and sweet trait. This is a level support. When you play the Climax Happy Days in the Climax zone, select one of your characters. That selected character gains the following effect. When this card battles his opponent, it gets reversed. Choose one card in your opponent's ready room and put it on top of his deck. The Climax itself is a 1k1 salvage trigger. It's level support, so that's fine. It's the Climax is pretty good as far as trigger goes. Not really sure if you want to lose a card in your hand, just to choose one character to give the ability to top deck a card from your opponent's waiting room. I mean, like, it might help you win the game, but that's really it. Alright, next card. Okatachiri, 3210k, music and clover trait. When you have 3 or more red characters on your field, this card gains a K. When you play this card from hand, reveal the top deck. If that card's a character with the music trait on it, deal 1 damage to your opponent. When the Climax Happy Days is played in the Climax zone and this card's in the front row, you can select 2 red characters in your stage, and those selected character gains 4k, and the following effect cannot be reversed by opponent's auto effects. The Climax combo really does suck. The 4k is pretty the plus 4k, well, technically plus 5k with the Climax is like okay-ish if you're looking for like a high power. The ability to not get reversed by opponent's auto effects is kind of irrelevant at level 3 because as of right now, there is no real level 3 suiciders. I suppose if you're trying to like use the Usuki that lets you rest a card and send a card to the back row, give that card like an extra 5k, put Cherry back in the back row, I don't know. I think the Climax combo is pretty bad in my personal opinion, but I think this combo will still be useful because the effect that is still an on play reveal top if it's a music character, it deals 1 damage. It still makes a good supplement card. That's the point. It still makes a good decent backup level 3 to play. I would definitely play this card in a Miku deck because it's still a red card that it won't really screw up the what's the best word to hit? It won't really screw up the combo that is inside for the Miku because it's a red card. And Miku is a red card, so that means this card will also become 11k. Yeah, I think you'll only be using it for your second effect, to be honest. Next card, Candy Island Anzu, red 2 to 8k, music and candy trait. When you play this from hand, if you have another Candy Island Kanako and Candy Island Cherry on the field, you set a top deck to stock. When you play this from hand to stage, and if 3 or more happy days in your waiting room, send the top deck to stock. I'll be honest, I don't know what Candy Island Cherry is, so I can't comment on the first one. I suppose if it's a level 2 card, it would technically make this a 2-0 on level 2. For 2 so that's actually pretty good. If you have 3 or more happy days in your waiting room, it becomes a 2-1 at least. It depends on how you look at it, I suppose. I mean, like, you're blind in stock, so it's It's a 2-2. It's a 2-2 8K, so it's a little bit lower than the normal 8Ks. It doesn't gain any power. It just gives you free stock to supplement this card. So I can't really judge until I see Candy Island's Cherry. I hope it's a level 2 card, so that would make this a 2-0 at level 2. Other than that, that's it. It's still a 2-soul card that can come out for almost for free, so there's that. Next card, Takamori Aiko. Yellow 0025, music and camera trait. When you place this from hand for stage, you can pay the cost, which is 1 stock. If you this card gains a soul, and when the turn ends, put this card in memory. Terrible card! As of right now, I had not seen a mechanic for memory, so yeah, that is all there is to it. Next card, Abinana. Red 003, no actually not 3k, 3017, music and Usambi trait. During your turn, this card loses a level on the field. When this card gets reversed during battle, send the top of your stock to a waiting room, and then if you do, send this card to stock. Oh yeah, I should also mention this card is number 17. This card is also number 17. It's smack dab right middle of the yellow with all the yellows. For those who don't know, the pun for this character is that she is forever 17. So that's why she's her number is not in the increments of 500. That's why her number is 3017 to mimic her forever 17. Top that, her number is also 17, so there's that too. Alright, back to the actual card. It's stronger than for Noah. The -1 level 2 during your turn almost doesn't matter because it may go -1 level, but as far as the game is concerned, it's still a level 0 card. So if this card was level 1, that's another story. But this card is level 0, so that almost doesn't matter. And the ability to set the top stock to waiting room and then restocks itself, I think is actually quite useful. For what it is. Because what if you trigger a climax, right? What if you trigger a climax, you had no way to pay it out? That's the best way to pay it out. That sounds stupid. But overall, it's stronger than a vanilla, but it's definitely weaker than a regular beater. I don't know. I would still play it. Next card, Hino Akane. Yellow 108k, music and hot blood. This card cannot declare a side attack. When you start your encore phase, send this card to waiting room. That is quite a lot of power for a 1-0. So no wonder the downside is really big too. So this is really just like an this is like what we normally call as assassin cards. It's on play, turn end, it dies. Yeah, that is it really. It's average card. It might be useful with honestly with the 2k1 promotion mode on Zoo because it can become an 8k 10k I mean. So that guarantees you a salvage almost. But yeah, that's all there is to it. Cards like okay. I personally see the uses, but that is it. It's always gonna be a break even of some sort, break even to -1 depending on how that turned out. All right, next card is Sokumi Mayu, red 2/1/25 music trait. This card is a backup for 25. When you use this card's pack ability, you can pay the cost, which is 2 stock, and send a character from your waiting room to stage to waiting room. My bad. Choose a opponent character whose level is higher than its own opponent's level, and send it to waiting room. Yeah, it's pretty standard anti-change counter. So I'm not gonna go too much about it. All right, next card is Sasaki Chie. Blue 002k, music trait. During your opponent's turn, this card gains 2k. Pretty flat. Pretty good card to sit on for a bit. That's all. Next card, Kambijo Haruna, blue 002k, music and glass. When you play this from hand to stage, choose another character that you have during this turn. That card gains 1500 and glass trait. Now I'm pretty sure the glass trait is flavor. The one you're concerned about is the card gets an extra 1500 power. Personally, I don't really like cards that boost it just straight up. That being said, I did play that in my own Iron Master deck because I didn't really have much of a choice. Anyways, card's okay. That's all there is to it. Moving on. Shimamura Uzuki, red 0035, music trait. When you play this card from hand to stage, send the top 2 cards of your deck to waiting room. If there are any climax on those, rest this card. To the beginning of your opponent's battle phase, you may move this card to empty slot in your front row which has a character in front of it. I suppose it's like a runner. Not exactly like the runner we know, but it's a runner still overall. Card's oversized, so that makes sense. I guess in a sense it can run away if your opponent has more than one different characters on field. So there's that too. It's an oversized card. That's all there is to it. Oversized card that mills cards. Yeah, that's it. Moving on. Shibuya Rin, blue 002K, music trait. When you play this card from hand to stage, you can pay the cost with discard a card of your hand. If you do, look at the top 4, choose a blue character from those cards, show it to your opponent, add to your hand, send the rest to the waiting room. You know, if Idol Master and Cinema Goers were mixable, this card would be like pointless because Azusa was straight up better because it just chooses a music character. But moving on from that, because of its color restriction, I am not absolutely sure you'll be putting this in every deck, unlike Azusa. So this card would be really good in the Ranko deck because of the fact is you pick up the heaven, what is it? The white angel Ranko, and hopefully mill the black angel. But yeah, this card has its uses. It's just kind of limited because you only pick up blue cards. So if you do this in multicolor decks, just hope you have a blue card in those 4 cards, or you just went -1 for no reason. Oh, I guess you milled 4, but that's about it. Alright, next card. Honda Mio, yellow 001K, music. Card in front of this cannot move to another slot. And when this card gets reversed, if your opponent the battling opponent is level 0, send that card to stock. If after that, send the bottommost stock of your opponent's to the opponent's waiting room. It's a really good card. That is all there is to it. It's not your standard suicide, it's a stock suicider. So this gets away from some stuff. The fact that that runners cannot run away from this card makes it really big. Of course, it cannot get certain runners such as Outer Masters Azusa because of the fact that Makoto still exists, and Crayon Shinchan because that card can also become level 1. This card cannot kill level 1 still. So yeah, that's the main reason. But it can kill most runners. That is the bottom line. And runners is still quite predominant in the meta. And your opponent cannot get away with it. Also, it kills certain other cards, such as cards that require itself to send to waiting room, such as like searcher cards that requires to die. As Hibiki from Kenkai requires to die. So and anti-suiciders cannot actually get away from this either because it's not technically getting reversed. It's just being sent to the stock. It's a really good card. I could see this easily a $10, $12, $15 card. Maybe even more. I don't know. But yeah, it's a good card. I personally hope I at least pull 2. Next card, KBYD Team Yuki. Yellow 0015, music and sport trait. Pay 1 and discard a climax from behind the waiting room. If you play this from hand, pay the cost. If you choose a climax in your room, add it to your hand. You can rest 2 music and choose 1 character you control, give it 2k. I am not absolutely sure about the on-play effect. I mean, like, it'll make some climax combo more effective, but that still means you need to have a climax in your hand. So yeah, there's that. The fact that you can rest 2 means that it's an active ability. So that would mean the Global 500 Anya would have some uses during your turn for free almost, because then it's not gonna cost you anything, like stock wise or resource wise really. So there's an active ability that works there. Maybe some sort of climax combo you can use in conjunction. For example, maybe the promotion mode Anzu. Maybe that's a choice. No, it really is a choice because yeah. Anyways, but that is it. Kobiwa Kawasaye. Yeah, I kind of messed up the last name a little. Red 102K, music and Wafuku trait. This card backups for 1k, and when you use this card's backup, and if you control a music character, choose a battle character. That card gains like another k. Okay, there's no way you have no kind of music character, so let's just skip that part. So it's basically 102k. With Anya, it's a 102.5k. Just lay that out there. Alright, moving on. Takagaki Kaede. Blue 3210k, music and secret traits. When this card's in the front row, this card gets a K for every other music character you control. Wait, not bad. If this card's in the middle, this card gets 1k for every other music character you control. Oh, no, it's because of 14k. During your opponent's turn, if you are dealt soul damage and this is in the front row, you can look at the top card, choose that card, and leave it on top or send it to waiting room. Okay, that's an interesting second effect. I give you that. So every time you take damage, you can look at the top, or just leave it on top or mill it away. That can actually help a lot in terms of survivability. But you have to remember, you have to take damage Or actually, am I reading that right? Do you have to take damage, or do you just have to be take, or you just have to be taking damage for Kaide's effect? I am absolutely not sure. I may have to consult with somebody about that one day. Because, anyways, this card becomes a 14k in the middle. That's a big power. With a lower support, that's like maybe 16k, 17k. Yeah, it's a lot of power. So this is a very big center. I can see a restand card on this, a restand event on this card. To be honest, too. This is obviously a defensive type card. Defensive type cards because of the second effect. It's unique. Let's go with that. It's a unique effect. Anyways, that is it for the day. I don't. He has not really listed anything for me to talk about. So, thank you for listening, and I hope you come listen to me ramble about cards again next week. Goodbye.